Hello students, welcome back and welcome to Go Math Module 8, Lesson 3. Today we are looking at Day 2. Yesterday we did 8.3 Day 1 when we had to solve for our is. Our question asks us, what is? Today we're solving for our of number and our percent. Now we have two formulas that we're working with today. The same one that we used yesterday and I asked you to memorize, is over of equals percent over 100. And for these problems, I'm actually going to introduce to you another formula that might be easier for you. So check it out and then decide which one you like. The second formula that we're going to be using today is part over whole equals percent over 100. So yesterday's problems were really straightforward. They just asked us, what is? Okay, today we're looking at problems that don't necessarily have the words is and of in the problem. So we really have to analyze them, and today we're going to be using the second formula here, part over whole equals percent over 100, and this one's going to help you out a lot with 8.3 as well. So please make sure you have both of those written down at the top of your notes. And today we are working with a couple focus word problems. I know it is a little bit of writing today, but it is going to be worth it in your notes to have these written down. Here's our first question. Out of 25 students in Miss Janke's class, 19 have a pet. What percent of students have a pet? So let's go ahead and start analyzing this problem. Well, I can notice a couple things, and I'm going to go ahead and get out my color pens. You guys know I like to color code everything. So, out of the 25 students in Miss Janke's class, so our total number of students in this problem is 25 students. So that is our whole class. So I'm going to label that whole class in this problem. 19 have a pet. So I'm going to underline that one. That's an important part of this problem. And that 19 students, that's only part of the class. So 25 students in our entire class, 19 of them have a pet. So that's going to be our part. Now our question is saying, what percent? What percent? Okay, remember our symbol for percent. I just drew it there. What percent of students have a pet? So in this problem, we are solving for percent. So let's go ahead and write out our formula. And students, on this one, I want you to use the part over whole. And you'll see me writing this formula out every single time. Even though I have it memorized, I'm writing it out every time I do my work so I can plug my numbers in the appropriate area. Okay, let's start with the easiest thing first, and that's going to be putting my problem over 100 because that's constant, it's always there. Okay, now my part, the part of my class was 19 students, so I'm going to put that in where the word part is. I'm literally plugging in numbers for words. Next, I'm looking for my whole. Well, I've identified that my whole class is 25 students, so I'm going to write that in for my whole. And my missing number is my percent, my x. I don't know it yet. I'm trying to solve. Okay, now we've set up a proportion, just like we did yesterday, just like we've done in Chapter 7. So we are familiar with how to take care of these. So let's go ahead and cross multiply. Now we're doing 25 times x and 100 times 19. 25x and 100 times 19, which gives us 1900. Okay, we've cross multiplied. Next step is to divide. We are dividing by the number next to the x to get x by itself. Our goal is to get x alone. So we're dividing by 25 and we're just left with x. Now 1900 divided by 25 gives us 76, but it's not just 76. Go back and read the problem and see what the problem is asking you for. The problem says, what percent of students have a pet? So our final answer is not just a solid 76 whole number. Instead, we need to say 76 and then write out the word percent, or better yet, put the percentage sign behind it. So I'm going to write it out in a full and complete sentence. 76% of students have a pet, and that's my full and complete answer, so I'm going to go ahead and box that. And notice I did put my percentage sign after. All right, let's try another problem, and hopefully I have enough space down here to get all of my information in. 12 students in the band play trumpet. These 12 students make up 24% of the band. How many students total are in the band? Okay, so let's identify what's going on here. Well, the easiest one to find, I see a number with a percentage sign next to it, so I know that's going to be important. That will serve as my percent when I plug that in. And I'm going to use part over whole equals percent over 100 again. So I can actually grab that 24% and I can plug it in right where my percent goes every time. And now I'm just looking for my part and my whole. Well, it says 12 students in the band played trumpet. Well, we know from band that there's multiple different instruments. You can play trumpet, trombone, tuba, whatever. Well, 12 of them play trumpet, so that's only part of the band. We know there's going to have to be more students playing other instruments, so let's underline that one and identify it as our part. So I'm going to put my 12 in where my part is. Now my question is asking me, how many students in total are in the band? Wow, that total really gave it away. How many students are in the entire band? That tells us whole. We don't know it yet, so we're going to make it our x, our variable. And again, with a variable, you can make it any variable you want. I just typically use x because it's the first one that comes to mind for me. Okay, go ahead and take care of your cross multiplication. Boom and boom. 24 times x is 24x. On the other side, we have 100 times 12, which gives us 1200. Okay, we're not done yet. We have one step left to solve, and that is to divide by the number next to the x. So go ahead and do it. Divide by 24. You guys know this one. Divide by 24. On one side of the equal sign, you're left with x. I'm going to have to kind of go over here a little bit. X on the right side equals, divide 1200 by 24, and you get 50. So x equals 50. Now, if we want to write this in a full and complete sentence, which I always recommend, we would say there are 50 students in the band. And if you wanted to even expand on that answer, you could say there are 50 students in the band and 12 of them play trumpet, because that was given in our problem. So it just gives for more an academic answer, even though that 12 students that play the trumpet were part of our word problem. Okay, we have two more problems to look at for 8.3 day 2. So let's take a look. And these problems are more straightforward. Okay, so these are fill in the blank problems. Our first problem says 65% of 200 is blank. So right away, as I'm analyzing my problem, I need to realize, well, this problem uses the word is and of. So which formula do I need to use? And hopefully the light bulb is going off right above your head. Is over of equals percent over 100. Of course I want to use this because I can just plug in my numbers. Easy stuff. Now I'm going to do exactly that. First, I'm going to pull my percentage, 65%. Because it has the percent sign next to it, it's so easy for me to see percent sign. Okay, I need to make it my numerator above my 100. Okay, let's keep analyzing. Okay, 65% of 200. Of 200. Well, 200 must be my of number. Let's continue reading the problem. 65% of 200 is blank. Is what? I don't know it yet. So that must be my x. Alrighty, let's cross multiply and divide and see if we can solve for x. Here we go, 100x. On the other side, we have 200 times 65, and this is a very big number. We get 13,000 on the side. But we're not going to be worried about those big numbers because we have our handy dandy calculator. So we are going to divide by 100 and calculate that out. 13,000 divided by 100 gives us the final answer of 130. X equals 130. So on those fill in the blank problems, you can just fill in the blank. Oops, 130, or you can box your answer, just like I did there. So X equals 130. 65% of 200 is 130. Let's look at our last problem of the day for day 2. Now tomorrow we're going to be looking at our most complex problems in 8.3 day 3. Okay, 4 students is blank percent of 20 students. Okay, I'm seeing that language again, is and of. So I'm going to take my proportion method, is over of equals percent over 100. And hopefully you're realizing now, yesterday we talked about that shortcut method, that with the proportion method, it works for every problem, no matter which one is your missing number. It still works, whether you're using is over of equals percent over 100 or part over whole equals percent over 100. Okay, let's pull our important information. 4 students is. 4 students is. Okay, I'm going to pull my 4 for my is number. Is blank percent. Okay, well, there is no number for percent. So that is a real giveaway that X is going to be my percent. I don't know it yet because there's actually a blank right there in the question. 4 students is blank percent of 20. Of 20. So I'm taking my 20 and I'm plugging it in where my of number goes. Okay, now I'm ready to solve. Go ahead and do your cross multiplication and divide. 20 times X is 20X and 100 times 4 is 400. Divide by the number next to the X on both sides. We have X by itself on the right-hand side, and 400 divided by 20 gives us 20. But it's not just 20. We have to go back to our original problem. 4 students is blank percent of 20 students. We are solving for percent here, which means we must put our percentage sign behind it. So we can say X equals 20%. Or you could have simply filled in the blank up top because there is a percentage sign up there. Completely up to you. Okay, students, this has been Module 8, Lesson 3, 8.3, Day 2. Tomorrow we're going to look at Day 3, which is some more complicated problems using these part over whole and is over of methods. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.